How's it going, everyone? Dominican Steel here, back again with another video. And in today's video, I really wanted to go over a bunch of things, handful of things that Bungie can really work on for this next season, and even for Destiny 3, and just Destiny 2 as a whole, to make the game better. Now, I've come up with a few different ways, a few different just game plans, how Bungie can really make this all work on, make this go through as a very great update. So I'm going to jam-pack this video and not leave a single detail out. And quickly to go over what we will be talking about in the video, I have them pinned here, and they are going as follow. So more community events. Just like the one we had on Mars, that was definitely a good one. Reworking the Crucible. Strike-specific loot for regular Strike playlist instead of the Nightfall playlist. Pinnacle Gear replacing Powerful Gear instead of just having both in the game. And improve Xur's inventory, because we all know Xur in Destiny 2 at the moment is pretty terrible, especially compared to Xur in Destiny 1 at the end of the Destiny 1 life cycle. Even throughout the entire game, really was amazing. Xur's inventory was great. And then a buff to the PvE sandbox weapons, meaning some weapons that are underperforming, like auto rifles, should be buffed significantly to be on par with any other kinetic weapons in Crucible. So, without further ado, let's continue and start off with more community events. So, we had a community event recently on Mars, right before this Season of the Undying released, and that was actually pretty refreshing. Gave the entire community a reason to go onto Mars and do escalation protocols. That was actually pretty cool. I don't know about you guys, but that was definitely fun and refreshing to be able to participate in that, and I would hope for better rewards next time, and kind of a counter to be able to see how many people have done what so far during the day. That would be also very, very nice to have. But definitely more community events. That is a step in the right direction, and I really think that that is a fun experience for all new players and veterans alike. They can all have the same fun, awesome experience together, even if it is replaying, the same old. But really, that's pretty much more community events in a nutshell. Now, reworking Crucible. I'm not going to dive too deep into this because we all know Crucible is pretty broken at the moment, and no matter how you slice it, no matter what Bungie really can do and come up with, Crucible is just not up to par. Crucible is so bad that Bungie pretty much refuses to put Trials of Osiris back in the game, or Trials of the Nine, should I say, because Crucible is just that toxic at the moment. All of these setups and all these complaints and everything, and the game just is not where it should be in terms of Crucible gameplay and endgame Crucible, just rewards in general and content even. So definitely reworking the Crucible and taking another look at it from Bungie's side and our side, and just listening to the community a little bit more, and not listening to all the annoying little haymaker kids that are just like, oh, well, this is broken, that's broken, because if we did that, we can just play nerf all day and nerf everything to oblivion, which is not what we want. So next over, we got strike specific loot for regular Strike playlists. Now, I know anyone that's played Destiny 1 fully all the way through, they added guns in through the lifespan of Destiny 1, making strike specific weapons available during pretty much any strike that you play. Now, I remember this because I remember grinding the strikes and trying to get this weapon, trying to get a few strike-specific weapons, and I also remember ending up randomly getting them at the end of regular strikes. Now, this is not anything broken, it's not anything devastating. Let's say I want to farm for a Mindbender's Ambition shotgun, which is, pretty much regarded as the best legendary PvE shotgun, or PvP shotgun in the game, sorry. and that you can pretty much only get that when it's in the rotation for the Nightfall playlist. So you can never just go and start it up. That's not how it goes. Sadly, you can't do that, and I don't see a reason why you're not able to do that, especially this far in Destiny 2's life cycle. You should really be focusing on quality of life aspects of the game. So there's pretty much no excuse to not have this in the game. No matter what anyone says, I'm going to stand behind what I say, and I think this is a great addition that could be added into the game. Now, the next is Pinnacle Gear replacing powerful gears. Now, Pinnacle Gear is not anything new. It's just pretty much, in other words, the Pinnacle Gear associated with powerful gear, how powerful gear used to be. I don't remember the name of it, but pretty much the best gear you can get in the game. In short, you could do activities back then to get the strongest gear in the game. No matter what you did in Destiny 1, you were able to get the best, most powerful gear you can possibly get just by doing any activity, literally anything. You could go into strikes, you can go into Crucible, you can go into freaking SRL for, you can literally do anything, and that's my point. So why is that not really, an issue in Destiny 2 for some people? Because I know that's an issue for me. I'm not about to go and do the 980 Nightfall to get Pinnacle rewards when I can't even damage the enemies. That doesn't make sense. And it's not like I can go and just fly through anything that gives Pinnacle rewards, like the dungeon, for example. Like that's ridiculous. And getting powerfuls is useless because regular powerful gear is just gonna keep dropping at the same light. So right now I'm at 953 for the gear. So now what? What do I do now? I literally have to go through powerfuls to get +2 on all my powerfuls in order to get anything at all. And it's not even possible. I'm stuck. And I know many other people are also stuck, especially solo players. You're stuck and you're not able to really get up in the ranking like you used to be able to in Destiny 1 and like you used to be able to in the beginning of Destiny 2. You could really hit that light level cap on your gear. That should not be an issue for anybody, and Bungie just likes to make everything an issue. There were never two separates. There were never powerful gear and Pinnacle Gear separate. There was always just powerful gear that made you stronger and gave you better gear. So that definitely needs a fix. That doesn't make any sense by any standards or any means at all. So I know a few of you are frustrated just as I am, but it's ridiculous. Now, next is improving Xur's inventory. Now we all know Xur's inventory literally has plummeted to trash, straight up garbage. At least Xur in Destiny 1 had a point to go to him. You can get heavy synths, you could get, and on that matter, why not even bring back heavy synths and special synths and kinetic synths? Why is that gone from the game? Sometimes I find myself not getting any heavy ammo at all in endgame activities like, oh, I don't know, the raid would be nice, the nightfalls would be nice. Why can't, even strikes, why can't I just use a synth? Why do I have to get RNG for every little puny thing in the game? So that's pretty pathetic on that matter. Back to Xur's inventory. Xur's inventory also just is down the drain. So we've talked about the synths. Now what about the 3 of coins? What happened to the 3 of coins? Where is 3 of coins? We understand, I understand, that it was abused in Destiny 1, but guess what? It was never taken out, and when it was taken out, they put it back in because they knew that made no sense to add something in and remove it. Something that was fixed and pretty much nerfed to the point where you have to waste a lot of not heavy synths. You have to waste a lot of 3 of coins in order to get an exotic chance to be higher and high enough until you're able to get an exotic to drop from a boss. So on that matter, who knows what happened to 3 of coins, and hopefully it'll be making a return soon because honestly, that's also ridiculous, especially for people that have to rely on Xur's terrible trash inventory. And last thing on Xur, why on earth is Xur selling blueprint exotic weaponry and armor? For Xur's armor, take a closer look next time Xur comes around. If you have, let's say you have Helm Saint 14 for the Titan helmet. So you have that exotic helmet, and if you go into your collections, you go and you see that it's a void helmet with a total of probably 50. We're going to assume it's 50. If you go and you go to Xur, he's going to be selling you the same exotic blueprint from your collections. He's going to be selling you Helm Saint, and it's going to have the same stats, void, with 50 total armor value. And it's nothing different. You're not even able to get something from Xur that's different. And guess what, Bungo? You also failed, because this was a crucial element in Destiny. Let's say I have Sun Bracers on my Warlock. I was able to go and get that Sun Bracers again, not only out of my collections, out of my blueprints in my inventory. I was also able to go, and if Xur was selling it, and get another random roll. And then lastly, now that we're done talking about Xur and his terrible inventory, let's go over a buff to PvE sandbox weapons. This is going to be a sandbox update. I'm sure they'll do, and they do it every now and then, but let's be honest here. Some weapons are underperforming, some weapons are overperforming. We all know scout rifles are useless in PvE activities, Vanguard strikes, endgame activities in general. Who uses a scout rifle? Even the best scout rifle in the game, in my opinion, Randy's throwing knife, the best, regarded to me and many others as the best scout rifle for PvE purposes and PvP purposes in the legendary tier, is terrible. It's awful. It's literally, why would I use that pinnacle weapon, pinnacle scout, over any other weapon in the game in the kinetic slot that's also a legendary? I mean, I could think of many other things to be using in the kinetic slot. Yes, kinetics are not that powerful, but still, this is just honestly out of control, and I don't know why they don't buff pulses, they don't buff scouts, or anything else for that matter in terms of PvE damage. Why do I have to constantly be switching to my special to be doing damage? It's like my primary is useless unless I have Monte Carlo exotic to be even damaging a little bit and shredding through ads with the Carlo method at ×5 and get my melee back. That's the only time I'll ever be using a kinetic, because everything sucks in PvE unless it's an exotic kinetic. So that's pretty sad. Exotic slot should be reserved for something else, not this. But other than that, pretty much wraps up this rant. Actually, one more thing I almost forgot to mention. Whatever happened to reworking exotic gear and reworking legendary weapons? What the heck is going on? I almost forgot about that. How could I forget?